here, and welcome to episode 2 of Cloud Mind Diaries, where we talk all things real in the sixth dimension. How are you guys doing tonight? In tonight's video, we will be talking about unwinding the mind, having ways to cope with life, and things of that nature. This conversation actually comes from a TikToker that I actually follow, and we're not really mutuals, but like we do conversate within the comment section, and her name is Talk to Him Trend. We're going to watch the video and then we're going to get into the conversation. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the video.
And I'm gonna say this right here. I have went into Books A Million. I walked around. I touched vinyls. I smelled books, and now I feel a twinge better. And I don't even really know what I'm saying, but I just feel like I need to talk. I love K-pop so bad because in my most emotional states, K-pop for some reason makes me feel comforted enough to feel my feelings or just allow my feelings to be, even when I don't really understand how I'm feeling or what I'm feeling. And why is he taking off his shirt in the middle of that? Ain't my business. To just release emotion, and I'll get there in a minute. The freedom to be able to release emotions, because I'm not big on feeling my feelings. It's a luxury to feel your feelings. It's a luxury to be emotional. It's a luxury to be sensitive, and it's not a luxury that I've always had. And so, as an adult, now trying to have it is a lot. It's a lot. You got to figure that out from the ground up, and I'm too old for this. But not really, because I need to be able to feel my feelings. Being a K-pop fan, though, especially as a Black woman, sometimes sucks because it is comfort, fun, a method of escapism, and a battle all at the same time. Because you've still got to be hyper aware of the fact that you are Black in a space that is not Black dominated. That means sometimes you're going to be hit with racism. That means sometimes you are not going to be able to fit into the fantasy that everybody else gets to fit into. And you just got to be okay with it if you want to enjoy the genre. But I don't want to get into all that, because that's not what this is about today. I want to get into the escapism part. Because right now, in the economy, in the world we live in the country we live in, we can't afford to escape all the time. To be able to escape is a luxury. If you escape for too long, you miss out on things that could actually affect you. Like right now, the government is trying to overturn everything that my ancestors worked so hard for, that they marched for, that they bled for, that they died for. And if I am not paying attention, it could all be reversed overnight. We could be set back overnight. And that is draining to think about. It is draining to think about. And all I want to do is now go look at albums. Because at least if I'm around K-pop albums and I'm thinking about K-pop and I am focusing on the things that right now bring me joy, that I can for a moment not hate everybody and everything and want to cry.
All right, now that we watched the video, let's get into the conversation. I'm gonna start off by saying we all need ways to unwind. We all need ways to kind of get away from reality. My page is a page where I hope people can unwind and get away from all the politics stuff and everything that's going on in the world. And that does not mean once you find a way of comfort, you sit in it. Because like she said, you can sit in that comfort for so long, or that distraction for so long, that you will blink and everything that our ancestors worked hard for will be swept from up under us within a matter of seconds. So you can't really sit in it for too long. But at least having a way to cope with life, whether it's through gaming, whether it's through cosplay, whether it's through anime, whether it's through manga, whether it's through K-pop, whether it's through Thai pop, whether it's through Asian dramas, we all need a way. And I'm speaking to the nerds, so the robotic nerds, the nature nerds, the artists, the musicians. I'm talking to the nerds. This is a page for the nerds. We all need ways to unwind the mind and find ways to deal with the stress of the world. Because honestly, growing up, I did not expect the world to be like this. I did not expect the world to go in this route, because growing up, it was easy, it was fun, it was exciting. I was like, I cannot wait to be an adult. And then I became an adult, and all these problems came with being an adult. And the only way that I have to unwind is through anime, is through gaming, is through what else? Through watching anime, reading mangas, whether it's the book or the digital version, watching Asian dramas. Those are ways that I um, cope with either a long day or a stressful day or just stressing in general, especially in these times. And sometimes we don't know like ways to de-stress. Um, and it's not because you don't know how to de-stress, you just don't know what you like to do to unwind. Some of us, we have a long day of work, we have a long day of college, we have a long day of just living, and then when it's time to unwind, we kind of skip that. We just shower, jump into bed, we go to sleep, or we just watch television or just scroll for so long. A lot of us, we use social media as a way to unwind, but that's not really a healthy way to unwind, especially just scrolling until you fall asleep. um to my nerds, it's easy for us to find ways to unwind. You just have to know what keeps you calm, what brings you peace, even if it's for a few stolen moments, even if it's for um 1 minute, even if it's for 30 seconds, even if it's just meditation. We all need ways to unwind. Like I said, for me, it is going to a Barnes and Noble. It is playing a game at 2 in the morning. It is watching anime, reading manga, reading manhwa, watching Asian dramas, learning Korean. These are ways that I unwind, and I feel like we all need to have ways to unwind because honestly, this world is not getting any better. It's not getting any better, and we all need ways to unwind. I feel like, and what she said is sometimes having ways to unwind can also come with like baggage and stress behind that too. Hence like Thai pop and K-pop, J-pop, or anything outside of black culture that we try to do, because it's always going to come with some type of backlash, some type of we got to watch out for racism, some type of we got to look over our shoulders, make sure nothing's being fishy. And especially in the world of K-pop, y'all already know like the industry is whitewashed, and we have a lot of Koreans trying to say the N-word or whatnot. And so while it is peaceful, we also have to worry about telling people like, hey, you can't say that, or worrying about, okay, what debacle is the K-pop industry getting into today? Which of our favorite groups are disbanding for no apparent reason, or a member is leaving for no reason? So although it is a way to cope, it's also like, dang, the way to cope is also another form of stress. And she's not wrong. She is not wrong at all about that. To be honest, to be real, in this type of time, honestly, whatever gives me, to me, I'm speaking from personal experience, whatever gives me the way to de-stress, I'm gonna take it. I'm going to, even though, like for instance, K-pop, it comes with this little baggage, it's not as bad as the stuff that I gotta deal with on a regular basis. I can handle a few debacles in the K-pop industry, a few Asians or Koreans rather saying the N-word. I can handle that. I can handle a few K-pop groups disbanding. Outside of the politics, you know, us black people trying to keep our rights and whatnot going on in my life in college and so on and so forth. And I do feel like when she said, she felt safer in another country versus in her own country, I understood that completely. I've actually seen a lot of people. She's not the first person I've heard say that they have went to a different country and maybe the food tastes better, the food tastes real, the food gave them energy, and they came back here and they ate the food and it tastes fake, it tastes like plastic, it didn't give them as much energy, or they went to some place like Korea and they felt safe to walk the streets at night, while here you're like, should I bring a weapon, should I be in a group of people, should I stay somewhere where there's light? And that's actually crazy to think about. It really is crazy to think about. And just like her, I'm ranting too. That's what a lot of these Cloud9 diary videos will be, just me ranting off of stuff that I've seen on social media. Because honestly, That's all I can do. And maybe somebody can relate to me. Somebody who's either in the sixth dimension or not in the sixth dimension can relate to me. Um, because honestly, what is a place that you call home if you cannot feel safe or feel comfort walking outside your house, especially in your own country? You have to go outside the country to feel safe. That says a lot about the place that we live in. It says a lot about the place that we live in. Honestly, and that's why it requires us even more to find ways to de-stress after a long day of work, after a long day of getting bad news, after a long day of whatever. We all need ways to de-stress, especially in a world where you can't even think about going out at certain times of nights. And I know we're adults, and I know some of us, we carry weapons, but it shouldn't even get that bad to the point that you have to even think for 1 second, let me bring a weapon. Like, to have to say that just to go get us a couple of drinks, just to go, I don't know, drive the night away at night with your friends or by yourself or whatever. And it's crazy to even think that you can't even do something as simple as, oh, a late night run to, I don't know, Target to go get a K-pop album by yourself. You have to have somebody on the phone. You have to make sure somebody's with you because you don't ever know what's going to go down. And that's why I feel like, especially in the times that I grew up in, we all need a safe place. We all need a place to feel like, okay, I can escape reality, even if it's for an hour, even if it's for 2 hours. And I want anybody to know my videos. I know some of y'all are probably tired of seeing the same background. I know some of y'all are probably like, probably going to be the same stuff today, same conversation, same topics. But I want y'all to know that this is a safe place for every nerd out there. This is a safe haven. This is a place where, you know, you're going to get funny videos, reactions, and different things. This is a place where you can breathe, wind down, relax too. Not only do I do, you know, what I'm gonna call like a podcast video, I also live stream at night. I also post ASMRs to help you relax. You know, I talk about K-pop, I talk about anime. Like I try to give a balance of everything, so that way multiple or a plethora of nerds can come and say, okay, I can come here to rest. I can come here as a resting point after a long day. And I feel like we all need that. We all need that, whether it be through music. That's why I love K-pop so much, because it's one of my ways of de-stressing. I know she had talked about, I think it was either a Jackson Wang, a Bam Bam, or a GOT7 album she had listened to literally cry, and she hasn't cried in a while. I feel like listening to songs like Trust Me by Sunkiss, listening to the Layover album, listening to you know, early Stray Kids, those are songs that help me, you know, de-stress. Cover Me, What You Say, Trust Me, White Rabbit. You know, the songs don't have to have a meaning. It just has to feed you. It has to just bring you life. It has to just give you comfort. And sometimes even just something as simple as like a hyped up song after a long day, that gives me comfort. And honestly, I feel like like I said, we all need that. We all need that, especially in these times. These times is when you're like, okay, let's band together, you know, every Friday we have a movie night or something, or even if it's just by yourself, okay, I'm gonna have a spa day, and I'm gonna ask a question, you know, just to have feedback or a conversation in the chat. You know, when is the last time you actually took a break to unwind after a long day? When is the last time you sat back, you put some cucumbers on your eyes, you played some, I don't know, lo-fi or an ASMR, and you kicked your feet up and you just rested? When is the last time you put down the pen, the paper, the laptop, the notebooks, and all of that, and you just rested? When is the last time you took a break from work, you took a break from school, you took a break from paying taxes, you took a break from paying bills, and you just relaxed? When is the last time you went out on the town and you did something for you and not for whether your kids, your friends, your family, someone else? When is the last time you took time for yourself? That's the question or questions I want to leave with y'all. I'm not going to make this video too long, but I do want to say that video, honestly, I wanted to talk about that video so bad because it was just like, wow, there's somebody who understands. There's somebody who understands. Like, the first time I went into Barnes and Noble, I never felt like this type of peace where it's like after a long day of dealing with other people's emotions, you walk into a store, and that was my first time ever being into that store. But it's a store it was quiet. I can hear my thoughts. A lot of times we go places and we can't even hear our thoughts. We can't even hear from the Lord how loud the background is, how loud the sounds is around your ear. And I went in there, it was quiet, it was peaceful. People were picking out books. Some people already had books sitting out reading with headphones on. It was so peaceful. And then she's not wrong. The smell of books, that's a different smell, man. That's a different smell, man. Like, I wholeheartedly understand what she means when she said she had to just touch a vinyl, sniff the books, and she was like, I'm at peace. I understand that so heavy, because when I went to that Barnes and Nobles and it was just my first time, I was like, while I feel Gunbird. My first ever K-pop concert, Stray Kids, 06/10/25, I went there alone, and I never had so much fun and was at so much peace. One night only, and it was the best feeling ever. And some of us, we just need one night only. Some of us, that's all we need, is one night only. And you don't have to always do stuff with other people. You don't always have to relax with other people. Sometimes we need to put our phones on D&D and rest. Sometimes we need to put our phones on D&D and just relax. But when you're relaxing, always remember you have to come out of it eventually, because you don't want nothing to be snatched from up under you like a thief in the night. You don't want nothing to be taken without you knowing. We have to, especially our generation, we don't watch the news. Hardly. Most of us, we get our news from either grandparents, our parents, or social media through like TikTok. We don't actually turn on the news ourselves or research this stuff to look up what's really going on in the news. And doing that, especially our generation, they're just snatching stuff up from up under us without us knowing. I'm pretty sure some of y'all don't even know, even though granted, I am contradicting myself right now. And it's okay. I will contradict myself, because sometimes, just sometimes, I get my news from TikTok as well. Shut up. But Kamala, she was talking and she said that there was a movement passed. Basically, it's going to make it harder for us to vote on stuff that we know shouldn't be passed on. And it's like, a lot of us didn't know that, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Go look up the video for yourself. It's out there. And a lot of us, we probably didn't even know that, because I was shocked when I seen it, because I don't, even me, I don't have a good, I don't have a good sense of direction when it comes to, okay, let me go check the news. I grew up in a time where my grandparents was the news. So I'm not gonna lie. I grew up in a time where my mother was the news. So, I don't have my grandmother, and my mom, we don't really talk about the news too much together. Sometimes she do try to warn me, different stuff like gas prices and what's going on, but sometimes we have to do that stuff by ourselves, because things can get swept from up under you faster than you can even snap your fingers. They want us to stay blindsided. They want us to stay comfortable and stay hidden. They want that. It is okay to relax, but it's not okay to sit in it for a long period of time. Relax, get your relaxation on, get up out of there, and get back to what's real. And sometimes you can do both at once, because my relaxation sometimes come with me 24/7. Stray Kids, BTS, New Jeans, SB19, TT Poor. Watching them, listening to them, Everyday Poor Minds, one of my favorite podcasts. They come with me every day. So although I be out there, doing and listening in on what I need to, I still have my coping mechanism to deal with stress, to deal with life, to deal with all that BS that's out there in the world. But I want to leave it here. And I want to say everyone, and I mean everyone, but mainly my nerds. You gotta already know, nerds everywhere all around the world. I want us to find time to rest, but don't rest for too long. Rest, get up, get out there, do what you gotta do. My college nerds was in college for whatever. I was gonna take a break. I was gonna take that summer break, but I was like, nah. I want to finish. I want to go. I want to get through school. Do what y'all got to do. If you need to rest, rest. If you know you don't need to rest, you've been resting long enough, you need to get up and get back on to work, do so. To my workers, the ones that work, make sure you rest. Make sure you find time to eat. Same thing with my college students. Make sure you find time to eat. Make sure you find time to drink water. Make sure you find time to rest. Make sure you find time to hang out with friends. Make sure you find time to check up on other people. Make sure you find time for yourself. To the ones that are like me who were struggling to find a job, keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your faith up. And keep on pushing forward. Keep looking. Don't give up. It may look hard. It may seem hard. It may feel hard. Don't give up. Keep pushing, keep striving. Especially me, who I don't have a car, nor do I have a place near me where there's jobs left and right. I'm not giving up. I'm not letting my head down, hanging my head down, because I know that if I keep pushing forward, greatness is soon to come. So keep on moving, keep on pushing forward. Right. All right. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I know it's probably all over the place. But listen, this is what I'm not gonna say podcast, my mini series is about. Just talking on a zooted 6th dimension brain. Okay, alright. Nerds everywhere, all around the world. Hung yo. Blood and green, living in a dream,